Gonna start this off. Welcome to the show.
Bunch of fucking bullshit.
Shut up! It's not turntablism.
I hate you so much.
What it is.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Dude, I fucking hate that. Mic check, mic check. Yo, I'm a bee. Word. Fucking A. What a great track. Hello, good morning. I love you. It's great to see you and be here with you. I love you so much. Fantastic, excellent, great. I love you guys. Welcome, welcome. Things I hate 14, baby. 14, keep it on chugging. Oh no, I had a big announcement. This is going to be on now available on Spotify. And very soon it's going to be available on Apple Podcasts. I submitted my RSS feed for approval from Apple. So it should be like finished sometime today. Touch wood, everything goes okay. Anyway, yeah, so Spotify and Apple. Now I'm fucking legit. I'm going to be a millionaire in like a couple days. It'll be great. Hey, how you guys doing? Don't answer that. Every time I smoke weed, I don't sleep. I don't know, just get kind of wild. Weed is like coffee to me now. It's like I can only have it in the morning. Just kind of ironic because that's like a degen thing to do, but whatever. Degenerate. I knew some dudes in university who would always say, like, call themselves degenerates and, like, be like, yo, like, fucking degenerates. But it's like, really, dog? What do? Like, get drunk every night? Oh, yeah, you're a real degenerate. You know what I mean? You're like 20-something. You're not a fucking degenerate. A degenerate is somebody who, like, lives in the gutter and, like, sucks dick for crack. Like, that's a degenerate. You're just a fucking dumb white college kid. We're fucking degenerates. No, you're not. Like, have you ever gone to prison for, I don't know, like, shoplifting a Dollarama? Then you're not a fucking degenerate. You know what I mean? I've been really into Disney lately. And, like, the movies. Well, I've always been into, who doesn't love Disney? But the movies are great. I'm doing them for High Movie Review. What's up? But also the music is, like, fantastic. And so I've just been listening to them a lot, and they make you feel fantastic, right? They're so fucking happy. They always put you in a good mood. So I've been listening to them a lot. They, because I live my own, so sometimes it gets lonely and I want to like just cheer myself up. So I put on some Disney in the background, and I was high as fuck coming back from this fucking night I was out with the jabronis playing some Catan. What's up? And I had it on, on my way home, on the walk home and in the subway and shit. And then when I got home, Mary Poppins had come on like, whatever, the shuffle. But I was like pretty drunk and high and shit. So I was like but I was like, oh, just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine. It's a great song. But then I got home and I had this shit on and my headphones bumping. And I always like to describe my style as like homeless chic. You know what I mean? Like it's like 50-50. That guy could be a drug addict, or maybe he's just like a hipster. You know what I mean? So like, whatever. You call it, not me. But so I have a shaved head. I look like a fucking bum. I stumble into my house, and then I go to the bathroom. I start just pissing, like dick out. And then I start picking my nose at the same time, right? And all the while, spoonful of sugar's playing in the background, and I'm like, help them. And I'm all fucked up, and I'm like, oh, yeah. And it's just, talk about a contrast. If Mary Poppins saw me, she'd probably be like, dog, there's some children I can't help. You know what I mean? She's like, you're a lost cause, bro. You're on your own. I'd be like, please. A spoonful of sugar, though. She'd be like, nah, not for you, dude. You need a spoonful of, I don't know, methadone. Word. Shout out to Mary Poppins. Come fix my life. What's up? Yo, speaking of fixing my life, hecka proud of myself because after I got all my drunk shit, piss, picking my nose, fucking Mary Poppins, I was hungry and I was high. And you know the drill, man. About to fucking order some shit on whatever, fucking stupid UberEats or skip the dishes. I hate those things. They're so whack. They're so great. They're so fucking whack. They're so fucking whack because they cost so much and they're so gluttonous and you just feel like a piece of shit, Every time you order it, you're like, I feel like a fucking piece of shit. Like, I could have walked, I don't know, a block and gotten some food. It wouldn't have had every fucking option, but I could have just got my fucking stupid ass out the door and gotten some food. But no, I wanted to stay in my house like a little pussy bitch and get some fucking food. I mean, look, it's not that big of a deal, but like, you know, it's just, I'm sure I'm not the only one. It's just like self-loathing when you're like, what do I want? And then you like scroll through other options and it's just endless options for your fucking fat ass. You know what I mean? And then it's like endless and endless. And you're like, this is gratuitous and I'm spending money on this. I don't need to fucking spend money on this. And you pick something and you're like, oh, I want pizza, you know, and then it comes and the pizza's like this high with cheese and and it's just gratuitous. But anyway, I was going to do that because that's, you know, my fucking MO. I didn't. I did not. And I was high and I was drunk. But I've been really on this kick lately of discipline because I'm not a disciplined person. You know what I mean? I'm not. And I'm just like, okay, I want to do this. I'm going to do it. And it's just like, you know, it has caused problems in my life. But I'm not, discipline is one of my weakest things. I'm not very disciplined. So I've been really trying to just say no to myself on things where I would normally have just let it slide. And like, the excuse I always give myself is like when I'm high, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking high. It's the weekend. I'll just get it. Which is like, yeah, fair sometimes. But like, also you don't need to do that. And I would just use that as like total carte blanche catch all. Like, oh, I'm fucking high. Who cares? So I didn't do it. And I was really good. And I made myself a fucking tuna melt in the oven. And I had fucking sparkling water and like avocado. And it was like fucking healthy. And I was like, this is great. And it filled me up. And I was good. And the tuna melt wasn't huge. It wasn't obscene. It was like a regular tuna melt. And it was fucking great. So I was really proud of myself there. I've been playing Catan a lot recently. If you don't know what Catan is, get your fucking head out of your ass. If you don't know what Catan is, like, really fuck you. Because, like, come on, man. It's a fucking sick board game, dude. Come on. Like, what are you doing? Get your fucking head out of your ass. You don't know what Catan is. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, I guess fine, but like, nah, fuck you. If you don't know what Catan is, definitely fuck you. Because it's like, dude, everybody knows Catan. It's the one board game that you got to know. It's fucking dope, man. Everybody knows it. Fucking jocks know it. Nerds know it. Fucking moms know it. Grandmas know that shit. Your little baby knows that shit. Your dog. Learn about Catan. If you don't know what Catan is, Google Settlers of Catan. Catan. When you play it with anyone, but especially when you play it with a bunch of dudes, first of all, tempers rise high, okay? That's kind of part of the fun. Getting like fucked up and emotional in Catan is kind of like when you get high and you like tweak the fuck out and you're like, oh my God, am I talking too long? Does my fucking face look weird? How am I sitting? You know, like when you fucking bug out like that. Getting emotional in Catan is kind of the same shit. Being fucked up is like the novelty. Like when you're high and bugging out, it's fun to kind of tweak out because you're like, whoa, like this is such a different perspective. Holy fucking shit. And the same thing with Catan. Like you let your emotions go and it's like, you fucking piece of shit. Give me that wheat, you motherfucker. You know, like it was great. It was great. So, but also the thing that happens especially when you play with anyone, but dudes especially, if you play with a new person, there's a group of people who have played and then there's a new person or people joining. There's such a huge dick measuring contest to see who explains the rules the best, right? And this shit will happen. Someone will go to explain the rules, right? They'll be like, so what you got to do is first, this guy's going to roll. And then the other person will be like, no, you're not explaining it right. Here's how it goes. And then the other person will be like, fuck you. That's not how it is. You missed this one. And there's this whole like big back and forth of not only who knows the rules the best, but who can communicate them efficiently enough so that the new person understands it after the first shot, man. It's such a contest. And I fucking win that shit every time, bitch. Yeah, but that's kind of part of the fun, too. You're like, nah, fuck you, you little bitch. Like, I'll explain this better. Oh, lit. Okay. This is my Instagram homepage, okay? I got horny one time on Instagram. One time, okay? And maybe a couple times. Whatever. I got horny a couple times on Instagram. And I go check out, some Instagram thotties. Some little babes with the fucking tits out, their butt, fucking guilty, whatever. I go on one a couple times. I go on a couple times, not a lot. I go on one time. Now, this is my fucking Instagram page. Just like, look at this shit, bro. Dude, the fucking the Instagram babes kill me. Look at these fucking oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Dude. Just tits out. I go on here and it's like, first of all, obviously it's super fucking hot, but also it's hilarious. But also, I'm not this big of a hoe, man. I just went on a couple times. Like, give me a break, dude. I have other interests besides tits and ass. Like, you know, I like reading too. It's not just hot chicks, man. Oh, dude, every time I come on here, I feel like such a fucking scumbag. I avoid my Discover page because it makes me feel bad about myself. And not because I'm like, well, also because of the classic, like, oh, my life isn't as good as this. But I was like, Jesus, like, what the fuck? Look at this fucking lady, bro. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, dude. The muscle ladies, too. That's a whole other thing. The worst part is like, every time I come on, I'm like, oh, my God, these girls are so hot. And start drooling. It's just like, dude, I wish I had more control over my reactions. I wish I could see a hot girl and just be like, I don't give a fuck, you know? And she was like, hey, how you doing? I could be like, fuck you. Don't talk to me, you know? I wish I could do that. But every time I see how I'm like, huh, how are you doing? You know, fuck, it's so dumb. I'm not a hoe though. I'm not a hoe just based on my Instagram Discover page. Okay, I'm not a fucking hoe. I just got horny a couple times on Instagram. It's not my fucking fault. Oh, I wanted to start a segment. Called Brutal Rap Lyrics, where I review rap lyrics, because for some reason rap gets a fucking pass when it comes to PC culture, because the shit people are saying in rap is fucked, right? And I'm going to cheat a bit because I'm going to go back in time a little bit and pick some older songs. And the first one I want to talk about is Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, has a song called The What. He has some fucking heavy lyrics, especially about women. So we're going to talk about that real quick. Some of my favorite lines include Biggie saying, I'm here to excite and throw dick to dykes. Bro. The line immediately after that is, bitches, I like them brainless. I was thinking about this and I was like imagine if you take Biggie, you strip away all his entourage, all his like handlers and shit, and then you put him on like a show like Ellen or like Oprah or some shit, you know? And then they just take out his lyrics, you know? A woman host takes out his lyrics and they're like, Christopher, we're here today to talk about the effects your lyrics have on young women. And they're like, in your song, The What, you say, bitches, I like them brainless. Dude, are you kidding me? And he had to sit there just squirming like, oh yeah, you know, like it was like a different time. Or there's another brutal song by Slick Rick. It's called Adults Only. Like the song is, honestly, it's kind of not even funny because it's like borderline rape, dude. Like it's too much. But it, like, I'll read some of the more chill lines. One of the lines is, she's sweating although she tried to hold her composure. I hoped she'd take it in the ass and suck dick. What a nice apartment you got, Rick. Like, yo, Rick, don't you think that's a little on the nose, man? Like, can we get some metaphors or something? He's just straight up. She's like, I hope she'd take it in the ass and suck dick. You gotta give him a shout out for being direct, you know. Anyway, the rest of the song is like just as fucked. So yeah, check it out. Some guy who started his own podcast hit me up on Instagram, and he wanted to like cross promote. Like, I promote his podcast and he promoted mine. He hit me up and we were chatting, and he was like, "What's your podcast about?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's just about, I'm trying to find things that are relatable, you know, that everyone can relate to, and it's like that bothers people and just funny shit." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to find things that are relatable." And he's like, "Oh yeah, lots of people are doing that. Lots of people are doing that for their podcast." Which is like, dog, if you are trying to woo someone or court, an artist, so that artist will form a partnership with you and, will promote your things. If you're trying to court someone who creates, don't open with your creations are very not unique. Your creations are very common. Don't say everyone has the same idea as you, bro. That's not what an insecure artist wants to hear. Not a way to woo someone. He's like, oh, a lot of people are doing that. Fuck you, man. And the worst part is, he's fucking right. You know why? Because I'm getting my fucking, like I said, my podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and shit. And Apple, like I said, you have to wait some time so they can improve it. So I go on the Apple Podcast app and I'm searching for things I hate and refreshing to check to see if it's on there yet. So I search for the first time. I search things I hate. I'm like, oh, I'm going to check it out. What do I find? Not one, not two, but 3 podcasts titled Things I Hate, which all do essentially the same shit as me. And then like an idiot, I listen to a couple of them and I'm like, oh man, this is fucking brutal. And I'm like, oh man, I probably sound just like this. So if you listen to this, fucking shout out to you. And I hope I sound better than the fucking piece of shit I found on the internet. Yeah. To those 3 podcasts, fuck you, man. I'm keeping this name. Fuck you. You can get a new name. Whipped cream is a really interesting treat because it is 2 sides of a coin of vice, right? What I mean by that is there are 2 vices combined within a can, an aerosol can of whipped cream. And I'll tell you why. One vice is innocent, fun, and playful. And one vice is dark and degenerative and depressing and sad and morose, right? Because one side is you flip the can upside down and you put a little bit of whipped cream in your mouth. You did it as a kid. It was delicious, great, fantastic. An innocent little bit of, mischief, a little bit of sneak. It's good, delicious, great. That's one side. If you flip the can the other way and then you put it in your mouth and inhale, you get high off the aerosol gases that are used to push the cream out of the can. It's called doing whippets, okay? And it's what fucking people who can't afford meth use to get high. You heard me. People who can't afford meth buy aerosol cans like this and flip it, suck in the gases to get fucking high. It's like a step up from sniffing glue, maybe, on a good day. So it's like, I think it's so funny that like, because I used to do this as a kid. You sneak to like, I'm going to, show my privilege, but you sneak to like the garage fridge or like the downstairs fridge or whatever. And that's where like all the extra bullshit is kept. And then you take a little, with your cousins or like your sibling, you go, ooh, little whipped cream, like that. But then meanwhile, like some other fucking broke ass kid in a trailer has a fucking whipped cream, and he's like, oh, sick, whipped cream, psych, and then he just fucking KOs on the counter. So I had some coworkers over and we made crepes, and one of them brought whipped cream, so I had it in my house, and I've just been sneaking it, kind of every time I'm in the kitchen, and I thought of that. So my dad, I fucking love my dad. He's a great guy. I fucking love him, but he has always said to me, Tom, love people, use things. And what he meant by that is, anytime I'd lose something, and especially when I was a kid, you have your favorite toys or whatever, and you lose something, or like I lose a piece of Lego. I remember I used to, one time I had this Lego submarine, right? And it had those, I don't know if you know, but there's like the long pieces of Lego antennae, and like one of them broke off, and then it dropped somewhere, and I couldn't find it. And it was orange, and there was a pair of them right on the ship, and then I had to put a green one, so then it was orange and green, and it threw off the whole fucking color scheme of the ship, and I was like, oh, bro, fuck with me so hard. So like, I don't know, I hate losing things, so whenever I would lose something, I'd be really upset. I lost this thing. I loved that thing, and my pops always said, Tom, love people, use things, which is incredibly wise and profound. I love my dad. But then I started thinking, like, my dad like could definitely be scatterbrained for sure, and he definitely loses shit a lot. So I was thinking like it's kind of convenient that like that's his saying, you know. He probably just got like he probably just got sick of being pissed off about losing shit all the time. So he was just like, it's not important. You gotta love people and use things. You know what I mean? And he was just like, oh fuck. So last time I told you guys about how I don't use recipes because I'm a real motherfucking G. And so I didn't use a recipe recently, and it turned out like shit because, like, yeah, that happens, you know. And then I realized that, like, but you don't want to waste it because you just threw a bunch of shit, you know, into a pot, and it's like, bro, I don't want to throw out this stuff just because I fucked up. So in order to, like, make it go down easier, you, like, eat good shit with it to, like, take the edge off the shittiness. And I made, like, this pea soup. And it was like not good. It was like too thick. It was like a paste, and I put in too much allspice, so it was like it was like, you know, when you eat something like spicy at like a Mexican restaurant, and you're like, ah, my tongue. It was like that flavor instead of like Latin was like Christmas. It was like so spicy, but it was like Christmas because it was allspice. So I would eat it. I'd be like, oh, this is spicy, but my tongue wouldn't burn. It would just be like, huh, this is like so fresh, you know, or like so like Christmassy. Anyway. And then I was eating this nice cheese with this like piece of shit allspice pea paste. And I was like trying to just like, you know, balance out the piece of shit flavor with this good cheese. And it worked, but I kind of felt like now I was wasting this cheese because I'm putting this disgusting stuff with the good cheese. You know what I mean? So this is my fucking poncho. It's one of my most prized possessions. I love it because it's warm and cozy, and I think it's really fucking cool. I feel like Clint Eastwood in the Man with No Name trilogy when I wear it. That's kind of a big reason why I wear it. I got it in Ecuador, okay? And I always tell people that, like, yeah, I got it in Ecuador. You know, like, it's fucking cool. Stupid, I know, whatever. I work in tech support. I was on the phone the other day with somebody from Ecuador. Well, it's cool. I've been to Ecuador. He was like, oh, where'd you go? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, yeah, I got a poncho there. And I was like, I really like it. And I was like, I was like, oh, do you guys wear ponchos? And he goes like, no. And then he's like, yeah, that's more like what we call the Indians. They wear ponchos. And I was like, what's up? Okay, I get it. So, and then another guy on the phone, he was British. This is in tech support. And it was kind of funny because like British people, they go, "That's a pretty good day, isn't it?" You know, they go, "Innit, innit, innit." And he was saying, he'd be like, he had a weird accent. Like he must have like moved to the UK. He would be like, "It's a pretty good day, isn't it?" He'd be like, "Don't you think that's a good idea, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Isn't it? That sounds awful. Why are you saying isn't it?" And he would really pronounce it. He'd be like, "Isn't it?" And I'd be like, "Dude, like I'm not British. I'm telling you, it's in it. It's in it. You got to say in it." Dude, what? Like how are you so tone deaf to the own idioms of your culture? You know what I mean? You gotta, you know, it's in it. It's not isn't it. What are you dumb? Like just open your ears, man. It's fucking in it. It's not isn't it. Anybody in the world knows that. You don't have to be British to fucking know that. I think I mentioned this before, but yeah, I had my coworkers over for brunch a while ago because we're on the same page about a lot of things. Like I really like to reuse things. I don't like to waste shit, and same with them. So one of them, or like a couple of them, were making freshly squeezed juice for mimosas. It was a wonderfully pleasant morning. Like, you know, fantastic. So they were squeezing oranges to make this juice, and then they asked me, they're like, "Do you have a big container?" And I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Because we're going to put the orange peels, the used orange peels, in the container with some vinegar. We're going to leave it, you're going to leave it there for whatever, like a week or two. And then it's going to be a homemade natural cleaning solution." I wasn't really prepared for this project, and I didn't initiate it. So it's a totally different mindset, right? When you do that, when you initiate your own project, it's like, schwa. But when somebody initiates a project for you, it's not like, you know, it's not in the forefront of your brain. You haven't thought about it. You haven't planned it. So, so they're like, "Do you have a big container?" And I'm like, "Here's this fucking pitcher." So they shove these used up orange peels, they shove them all, smush them down in there, and then they pour vinegar all over the orange peels. And then they're like, here you go. Here you go. We made this for you. Here's your wonderful gift. I'm like, oh, thank you for the picture of garbage and vinegar. I'm like, oh, can't wait to use this fucking garbage juice around my house. And I'm like, where am I going to put this? And then so I'm like, I have nowhere to put this. So I put it just like on top of my dryer. And then now every time I forget about it, right? And every time I open up my fucking like laundry area, I see this fucking picture of decomposing garbage. Just like, oh, there's my cleaning solution. I love you guys. Thank you for helping me out with that. Anyway, shout out to my sister's partner. I had a call with them right before I started this, and he was like, I was like, what are you guys doing? He's like, oh, we're just stressing out about our one day off and how we're going to make sure we use it. Because I realized, man, like every time the weekend comes around, I don't know about y'all, but I try to structure it so it's like perfect, right? So you get the perfect amount of outdoor time, right? Exercise time, right? No screen time, focus, meditation time, right? Reading, right? Cooking, right? You know, all this little thing. Maybe a little movie, you know? A little social. You got to have social. Balance. Bro. What a task. God, just talking about it gets me stressed out. And he was like, we're just tweaking out about how we use it correctly. And I was like, dude, very true. Okay, that's it. I got to go to sleep and chill out. But big news. I'm on Spotify now. So Things I Hate on Spotify. Check it out. And hopefully going to be on Apple Podcasts very soon. Like I said, just waiting on the fucking approval. So yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Hope I don't get canceled. I love you. Goodbye.